Welcome back to another episode of Lunchcraft. Today, we have some building planned. Let me get back here. Start the timer. Yeah, look at me getting fancy. I actually set up some hotkeys to start the timer. Since last episode, as you can see, I put a ceiling here. The goal of today is to finish the edge, sort of like this section of the castle here where we have the tough kind of edge. So I want to finish that on the farm wing over here. And I think there's some other exterior styling things I want to do, like how that kind of has that rounded corner. I think I want to apply that same rounded corner here. I got rid of this chimney and kind of terraformed this back into a normal piece of land. And I think eventually I'm just going to move this butcher. But yeah, I didn't really want the chimney blocking this view. And honestly, I may end up just getting rid of this whole blob of earth here. We're kind of just taking over this boulder. Slowly but surely, this whole boulder is just going to be replaced with castle, I'm sure. But let's see here. A few more supplies I just want to grab real quick before we get started with building. And just so you can see here. Whoa! WWW. Here's kind of the plans for today. I did not put which episode this is. I think it's episode 12. So the plan is to finish the exterior on this farm wing, and then if we have time, we'll finish up the exterior on that. So yeah, as I was carving out the rest of this boulder portion up here, as you'll see, I just covered all of these sugar canes because I didn't want the stone dropping in and getting collected by the hoppers. Of course, that did happen a little bit anyways. I ended up opening up. This used to have another line of sugar cane here, but I wanted to open it up. It was feeling a little cramped, and I don't think I'm going to miss that extra sugar cane. This is kind of a temporary way to get up. Not really sure if I'm going to keep it or not yet. I already moved a few resources up here. Between last episode and this one, I just mined some tuff down in the mines. I moved Mark up here so that we have him to... Let's see here, bricks. We have him to get sort of an aerial view. Looks like we'll also need some full blocks. So let's get some of those made. I'm getting a call from my uncle right now, and I'm ignoring it for you guys. So I have this currently set up to... Okay, actually, let's fix this piece of the interior first. And getting a call from my uncle, getting messages on Teams. It's like people know when I'm recording Lunchcraft. How do they know? So I'm just going to make this sort of mirror the curvature of that other piece. This isn't going to mirror the other side because it doesn't really have to. You're not going to necessarily see that side and this side in at the same time, so I'm not too worried about it. But now you can see we've got one, two kind of corners before we get to that, and that's just kind of that archway. So now place this as a temporary block. What we're going to do is do this sort of edge banding. I don't know what to call it. With this upside down stair. Now what's tricky is we haven't dealt with these corners yet before. But I think let's just go, let's just go with it for now. just kind of create this edge, and we will take a look at it once we get this full edge complete. Let me know, you guys, if you like these building episodes. The library build did pretty well. Seeing as I'm just recording for 40 minutes, kind of limited on what I can do. So, like, a lot of this prep work to get this portion of the castle built was done off camera. Getting this whole floor built out here. I want to get more replay mod footage, but yeah, I attempted to do that for putting in this floor, and then I messed up the clip, and then, man, it's just kind of a clunky mod. And maybe that, I mean, it's user error, I'm sure, but I'd like to get more sort of time-lapse footage of things that I accomplished offline, just so you guys have something to see for what I've accomplished offline. Yeah. Let me know. I think episode 2, if you guys were present for that, I did something along those lines, not with replay mod. Well, actually, maybe I did do a little replay mod there, but just a little recap, and I think that would fit pretty well into the beginning of these episodes, even if it was just 30 seconds to, I don't know, let's say a minute and a half, just to kind of summarize what I did since the last episode, and not I don't want you guys to feel left out, like I just played without you guys, even though that's definitely what I did. I definitely will not leave you guys in the dark of, you know, what I accomplished offline. I'll still give you guys a summary if I don't end up doing those recaps. But yeah, as far as building goes, this kind of stuff, like, obviously this is not super exciting. I'm just placing upside down stairs along this trim here. So not crazy exciting content. What is going on? Have I been placing full blocks? Because if I have, I'm going to cry. No, I just did one. Yeah, as you can see, this isn't like crazy riveting content. But hopefully I'll give you guys an idea of how to kind of achieve this castle sort of look. Castles, I mean, they're pretty rectangular. Of course, I've added these little jut outs. I don't know what the official castle terms would be. If you do know, leave a comment and let me know what it's called. But yeah, the castle stuff is pretty easy to replicate. Just pull up an image on Google, and I like, you know, man, I don't know. I don't know what any of these terms are. I should learn about castles. Oh man, wow. Already burned through 64 times 2, 128. Tough stairs. Let's just get another full stack going. And while we're on this side, we'll almost jump off the edge. Now we'll finish off here. These are pretty tedious to lay down. And not very easy to do quickly, especially these corners here. I don't know if I'm gonna end up keeping these corners. So that'll be fun to decide together. Finish that there. Beaut. And let's get that other side finished, and then let's get a quick aerial glance using Mark, our happy guest. Finish off this little tower. I was actually thinking of making these towers taller, the corners. And once we get a view from further away, we can decide that. Get some rain going. We're for sure going to save that off. Okay. And I'm getting another call from my uncle. He must really want to chat. I called him earlier, and we're going on vacation next week. I've got a pre-recording episode tomorrow. I'm thinking I'll do a little adventure episode and maybe, you know, discover a new biome, maybe prep for the end and find the end. Who knows? What was I doing in here? Going to sleep. But he's likely calling about our sleeping arrangements. With the kid, we have to pack a lot more stuff. This will be our first flight together as a family as a family with a child. Me and my wife have gone on many a trip. Alright, let's grab Mark here, and man, speaking of Mark, the happy guest, I'm excited to see my brother on vacation next week. He's currently living in a different state than I. Okay. So, the next step here is we have... Man, it's kind of hard to drive these guys. So we will have to delete some of these stairs. We'll have to kind of come up with a good interval. You see these little spikes as if they were like... It's kind of like where an archer might shoot arrows from and have a little protection. That's what I imagine they use those for. We'll have to get some of those looking good up in here. So let's see. I'm thinking corners are always a good place to do that. But how do we make it look good? And we have that corner. I almost feel like it's gonna have to just be both of these corners. And this piece here I'm not sure about. But let's imagine what one of these might look like, and we will build the rest. So it's not a full block. One thing I'm really looking forward to getting soon is an elytra. I cannot wait. Oh, okay, so this is the problem with this even number here. It's either we do that or we ignore the corners. Let me think here. And we do these bits. And then it looks like we have a stair facing out. We may end up hating this and needing to do something different, but we at least need to try. And then, so this part would be tricky. Maybe these corners here, we end up doing this as well. And I think that's all right. Or we go straight up in the middle and we just have less. Or another option, lots of options here, is we can kind of use the fence blocks. Problem is, we gotta kind of place these just to see the spacing. I do feel like I like that spacing better than that spacing, so let's do that, and maybe we'll put a fence here and here and here. Let's get a couple of those fences just to see what that'll look like, and we may end up, we did kind of a trim with the fence on the side here. We may end up implementing something like that as well, but just to give more of those spike looking effects that give it that castle look. Okay, don't get away from me, Mark. The beauty of the Happy Ghast is that we can also kind of perch up and build here. So let's get our blocks. This we want to stay like that. And then, Mark, if you could go down a little. Thank you. That. And then I think that as a block might look funny. Oh my gosh. It's a little... This is my first time building on a Happy Ghast. If you couldn't tell. I wish it was like you could hold shift to go down. Okay, so let's get a little zoom out here. And once we find a shape we like, we'll just replicate it. And I'm almost thinking we could do something... Oops. Let's rework this corner a little bit. So if we have full blocks below the other ones, now this could look funny. And I'm thinking maybe because these are taller towers, they deserve to look a little different. But this might look funny if it had that beneath. Something to think about. Wow. This episode is actually about learning to fly a Happy Ghast. Surprise. Let's go out just a little bit. Yeah, that looks terrible. So I almost feel like we could do, let's see, do these connect to stairs? No. That almost looks nice. And like maybe a half slab. And it might just look good like that. I think that actually looks fine. I feel like it almost, because it's a taller tower than that, we could definitely get away with longer bits that go down just to give it some more verticality. I don't know if that's a word. All right, Mark, you've been of great use. I think we have an idea for what we want these corners to look like. So 3 full blocks. And then these ones are still corners. Right, right. So that's still a corner. Well, actually, I think we had 1 stair here, 1 stair here, and let's see, this is going to have to just stay not as a corner. Well, yes. Yes. Okay. And then I think we go with every third one of these, and that works out pretty good. So we got this one here. Let's just get all the blocks placed. And I don't think we're going to be able to place those without our dear friend, Mark. Once again. You're getting a lot of use today, buddy. Okay. Man, already 20 minutes. Time flies when you're building. So I think just to match this one. And I missed a block here. All right, let's grab a quick look. That looks decent. Not mad about that. Yeah, not mad at all. All right. Now we do it to the rest. So that will have to be a block. And then we'll go stair, stair. And I think this would probably look better if it was, no, facing that way. I don't know, let's see. How can I make, if I would made that a corner, what would I have to do? What did I just place? Dang, this is really difficult. Am I gonna have to replace all these stairs? No, please don't tell me I have to. Okay. No, that looks good. Okay. That's definitely better than what it was. You know, and maybe this one would actually look fine on a stair. Let's take a look. Now that I'm looking at this again. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna get really good at building on a guest. That looks funny, because you see here, does it though? Does that look kind of cool? We could potentially go with a wall. Just an idea. I think we're going to go back to how we had it. Or, actually, will that stay as a corner? I wish it would stay, yeah, like retain, that one retained its shape, but that's because it's still attached to a stair. That's the problem, is I'm not going to have any stairs attached to this anymore. There we go. And this corner, oh, we haven't done it yet. That's why. I went through all that effort to get this corner looking nice. And we're doing something different. So I think that's gonna be good. Yeah, those stairs match. Okay. Let's just get a little move around shot. And I think maybe the corners need to be replaced with tuff. This corner here, that corner there. Just to cascade that color down. This corner here. And so this here is going to be the same situation. I'm just placing temporary blocks. Okay. Let's figure out. We have this other different section over here. I did not imagine this being like a building on a ghast episode by any means. So I almost feel like we need 3 apart on those ones. Yeah. So let's... That's good. And that one maintained its corner. Do we like that? I think I might like that. Now that would probably involve redoing these ones. We want this one to have a corner. So I'm gonna have to... Holy cow, man. It is hard to build on a ghast. Let me put this guy away for a sec. Chill out for a sec, Mark. Let me pick up some blocks that I broke. These temporary guys. And we want boom, bam. That one's going to be the corner. Not that way, this way. And like that. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm realizing I could actually do a lot of this without Mark. And I wish I realized this sooner. This episode's going to be called Watch Me Place Tough for 40 minutes straight. Let's see how many views that gets. Okay, what did I do here? Those are solid. Okay. Boom. Boom. And then I have it go in the opposite way. Okay. So that one's a corner. This one should be a corner, which it's not. And in order to get that one to be a corner, I gotta do some fancy dancy placement. Upper corner. That. Get rid of that. Boom, and then that should wrap around. And then we should have a corner. How do I check it from this side? Okay, that's a corner. So now we just do the same thing over here. Looks kind of castle-y, right? Okay, and then this one should be a corner here. Which it is, because we placed it in that direction to start. Okay, now we replicate the corner on this guy. Pardon me as I clear my throat. Now, let's see, how does it look? I think we had that and that. 3 blocks and that. And then the stairs are in the middle. So same here. Stairs facing in. Towards the corner. Fence block on top. Lastly, on this part, stairs facing in on the corner, blocks. That does not match. Did I do the wrong corner? No, what? I'm like looking down here. Wait, no, we're good, we're good. That is in line with the other fences down there. All right. I say I was just gonna jump off of here and check. Scaffolding would actually be a better option. Let's go grab some scaffolding. Had to take the shortcut down. And that should be plenty. Probably should have used scaffolding from the beginning. So just looking from down here, it's nice, it matches. Okay, we missed the corner stairs on that one. Let's go over here. Looks pretty good. Like I said, it feels a little stubby to me with how tall these walls are. I feel like we need something that creates a little more length than these little tiny pieces there. But it does give it kind of that castle-y shape. And yeah, I kind of like the spacing. I feel like it looks nice. Let's get up high. Take a look from up here. And I think we need some windows in the center of these guys. Probably also on those. Another option we have is making, instead of, this one has the stair in the middle, these ones have them on the outsides. But maybe we could match it sort of. It's a different count. Obviously, we have 3 wide here and 5 wide here, so it's not, they're not going to match perfectly. So there needs to be a bit of a, there's going to be some difference between the two. And that's okay. Little asymmetry is good, as somebody has once said. Okay, let's fix this first, since we're right here. Get these corners in. And then this guy, I believe, this should be as so. Okay. What do we put up here, you guys? Give me some recommendations, otherwise it's just a nice flat area. For what? It's ready to be built on. This whole area spawned from the creation of my sugarcane farm, because I just started digging into the side of this boulder, and now we're dealing with building a castle. I don't know how we got from point A to point B, and I'm kind of mad about it. What am I doing here? These need to match those little goey outy bits. What am I doing? I think, so this is supposed to be one of them. I think I needed to actually deconstruct one of these anyways. So I could make a corner. Happen here. So that's fine. So that should be a corner. Upside down corner stair touching that edge, which it is. And an upside down corner stair touching that edge, which it is. Great. So I'm just so smart. Okay. That's my little entrance down there to get to the melon farm area. I had to replace the doors down there with iron doors because I was having break-ins. Zombies were breaking in. That's not what goes there. Upside down stair. Block. Stair. Okay, and then let's deal with this funny placement here. Make that a... Oh no, we're out. That's why I brought the stone cutter up here, folks. And let's just do half a stack for stairs. And let's do the rest of that in bricks. I'm sure we'll use them someday. What were we doing? Right here. Okay, nice little corner. Oh man, I'm so sorry you've had to listen to Mark this entire episode. There's one thing I will say about the Happy Gas, and it's that I'm not a fan of how they sound. Almost worse than the evil version of the Ghast, you know? Like, I'd almost rather take the Nether Ghast's angry sounds over the Happy Ghast. Unpopular opinion, maybe. Let me know what you think. Do you like the Happy Ghast sounds better than angry Ghasts? I'm just going to call them angry Ghasts. Normal Ghasts. Let me know. Alright. And with this, I'd say we're just basically done. So that... there would be a stair, or a fence over there in the corner. Let me know what you guys think of this. Let's do one more aerial shot. Do I need to bring the towers up in height? I'll explain what I mean here in a second. Let's get a little exterior view. By the towers, I mean these corners. I almost feel like if they were raised up a bit, it would look better. Maybe that corner isn't necessary. If I'm flying in, I might not even see it, you know? So right now it's very flat. I almost feel like there needs to be another castle kind of central on this piece. I also want to make the perimeter of the Iron Golem farm come down, and that would also appear to look like a, you know, some sort of a wall formation up there. Obviously, I'd have to spawn proof it. I don't want the Iron Golems spawning on it. I think it's out of range, but just to be safe. But yeah, do these towers need to come up a few more blocks on the corners? Does this tower need to be there? So you can't even tell that it doesn't really match the other side, but give me your thoughts. I think it looks decent. I definitely think I want to finish these corners out with tuff. And then maybe these corners I do the walls for the 5 wide pieces. For these round towers, I think just the corners in between the 3 wide will be tuff. Blocks, full blocks. These ones will be stairs to kind of match the trim on that tower over there. Yeah, see how this tower comes up a little bit more than that level there? Kind of makes it look more like a castle. So I'm thinking this might look too flat and that these need to come up a few blocks, these corners. So let me know your thoughts. But that, you guys, is an episode. Episode 12. We didn't get to the back entrance, but it's going to look a lot like this one. And you just watched an entire episode of placing tuff. So thanks for watching all the tuff placement. And I really hope this is episode 12, because I'm about to sign and close it. Is that risky? I'm too nervous to do that. Let's go check and make sure. Should be able to just do that. Okay. Hop down real quick. I got a lot more tuff than I actually needed for that project. I thought I was going to need more, but glad I didn't. 9, 10, 11, it is 12. Episode 12. That being said, you guys, thank you for watching another episode of Lunchcraft. And if you stuck around for this whole video of me placing tuff, well, then hopefully you like me enough to comment, like, and subscribe. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you guys next week for another episode of Lunchcraft. Bye.